back, everybody.
Welcome back. So, did you see the news about your boy?
Flat Earth Man 2012?
No. Michael Spurlock, is that his name? Morgan
What's
Spurlock. What?
I'm saying Morgan Spurlock over and over again, trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, so the Super Size Me guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, what about him?
So he came out and admitted to raping a woman in college.
Jesus Christ!
And saying that he's like part of the problem and that he's going to now be dedicating his time to. I don't know. I didn't quite understand why he came out. He basically said he's part of the problem and therefore he needed to do something different because he's a bad person and he had paid this somebody in the past to keep their mouth shut about what he had done so he could save his reputation. And it was very strange, but the point of the article was it said in the middle of the article how he admitted that he's cheated on every girlfriend and wife he has ever had.
Is he married right now?
And then it ended with he is currently married to his second wife. And I was like, does she know that he's cheated on every girlfriend and wife he's ever had?
Oh, God.
Like, I'm a little confused right now.
Wow. So she got some real sad news in the newspaper today.
Yeah, I guess. Like it's I was very very confused, but I thought it was very interesting that, he came out himself to admit that he had done this when he was.
You think there was some pressure though? Like you think he brought it up?
He claimed he was doing it so like that it wouldn't get, it wouldn't get found out because he did something wrong, and with it all coming out from everybody else, like how long was it going to be until he was exposed? So he might as well just be truthful and come out with it like himself. And it was in college, and he apparently.
What did he do exactly?
It says he it goes into a little bit of detail about what he claims it was, and it was something about he was at a party. They were both drinking. They made it back to his room. She was saying no, but he still like pressured her into having sex despite her saying no because he thought it was okay. It didn't really say if she came out after him right away or what, because it does talk about him ending up like having a settlement with her and paying her money to keep quiet at some point. But
wow.
Yeah, it was very, very. But I thought you'd like to know about your favorite guy.
That's a shame. I mean, honestly, I don't care about anyone except for probably Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. No.
I was like, wait, Tom Cruise raped somebody?
Yeah, Tom Cruise is my boy. No, Tom Hanks. If it ever comes out, Tom Hanks was did some bad things like this.
That would be. I think what's funny. I think about 6 months ago, people would have said the same thing about Kevin Spacey.
No, Kevin Spacey's always been a creepy fuck to me.
You think so?
I mean, fuck, look about, what was it, American Dream? What was that movie
American Beauty.
Yeah, no, he played that role way too well.
What am I doing wrong with this, and how do I fix it?
Like, I always thought that guy was he had some, he was...
He was some bad news.
I mean, I don't like to think that anyone does these sort of things, but I feel like maybe they have the thoughts, I guess. Know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have thought, well, he definitely fucked someone or did whatever, but I would have thought, yeah, he's capable of thinking about it, fantasizing about it, that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Capable of thinking about anything.
Yeah, but I think if you fantasize about these sort of things, you're only one opportunity away from acting on it. You know what I mean?
I get what was I reading the other day? And God, what the hell is it called? They had the term for it too. It was a whole Reddit thread on it, and it threw me off at first. But then all these people were, and who knows, it's on Reddit, but people were talking about the thought process when you are like driving down the road and you think to yourself, I could just swerve and take out all those pedestrians on the sidewalk right now. And apparently, there's a name for it, but apparently it's something completely natural for everybody to have the same thought process. It's just the difference is the people who would actually act on it. And I was like, that's weird.
I don't think there's ever been a funeral I've been at where I haven't considered jumping up and yelling or running away.
I think that's kind of the same concept. It's thinking about things that you would never really do. You personally would never really do, but you just think like right now would be the opportunity to do that if you wanted to.
Right. And what would everyone do if I did this right now?
That would be...
It's kind of getting on an elevator and not turning your back. A little bit different, but
yes, I've definitely thought about that before and done it jokingly when people I knew were in the elevator.
Yeah, but no, like complete strangers.
Never with complete strangers because it's just
look at everybody.
Yeah, that would be. God, how entertaining would that be, though? How do you make water streams? I want a bunch of water streams to funnel into one central stream, but the water keeps going funky directions when I do that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. Call Etho.
Yo, Eats. How do I
call him Eats?
No, I call him Eats. That's my name for him, Eats. God, how do you do this? I'm sure that I've done it before. Because I can't put a sign on any of these corners. What the hell? I've like ripped apart
so
half.
I had my own moral dilemma today.
What was that?
So I was at the grocery store.
Were you on the sidewalk wondering if one of those drivers was going to swerve his car and run into you just because they could?
Well, I was at the grocery store buying like a ham and stuff for Christmas, and
the good old ham dilemma.
Yep, this was it was Ham Tuesday. What day is it? It's Friday. Thursday. Ham Thursday dilemma. No, I already got my ham actually. So that dilemma was already taken care of. But I was looking at the pork loins, and I noticed that one of them got mispriced. Like they're supposed to be $1.99 a pound, and for whatever reason it got weighed wrong, and it was weighed at 0.05 pounds. So it was priced at a quarter, and it was on sale for 10 cents.
Did you purchase?
I did.
I also would have purchased.
Well, see, I picked it up and I turned to go to the meat man, and then I stopped. And I
You're
was
like, what the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah, because my first reaction was to take it to him and say, "Hey, man, you fucked up." But then I was like, "Hey, Jason, you could buy this. I don't even need it. I have like 3 of them in the freezer already." But I did, man. And then when I got to like the checkout, I was so worried that like she was gonna notice it. Like, oh, what happens if she notices? Do they have to honor it, or do they take it back, or what happens? But she didn't even know. She just rang it up. I paid 10 cents for this thing that should have been like $10.
So in theory, they are supposed to honor things like that. So and it gets really weird now in the day and age of the the internet and online commerce and all that stuff. But when I worked at McDonald's, it was a big thing that you had to make sure those menu boards reflected accurate prices, because if you advertise something at a different price, you were not legally allowed to sell it for less than that, because that's what the advertised price was. And sorry, I got distracted. My son is crying, poor guy.
No.
So he woke up. But so one day, I remember, this is back when we had non-digital boards for the menu boards, and we had a price update that we were doing on some of the items. And in the middle of updating the prices, one of the managers realized that the store got really busy, so she stopped updating the prices and went to start helping other customers, and literally left. Like, it said something about the double quarter pounder meal or something like that was at the time, it was, I don't know, it was like $4.99 or what it cost, but it left it at $99 because she didn't put the 4 up.
No.
And a customer watched her get off of the thing to come help. And it was the first customer that she started helping was like, "I want that double quarter pounder meal for 99 cents. And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like,
Why are
"Oh, you put the price up there at 99 cents, so that's what I want." And she was like, "No, sir. I was changing the prices on the board. I'm sorry. It was that's a mistake. That's not what it costs. I just didn't finish putting the price in." And then these three people that were behind her in line in one big group were like, no, you know what the law is. If you advertise it at that price, you have to honor that price. It's illegal.
Who the fuck are these people? These people don't normally exist.
So they just started talking for this guy. So she was like, fine, whatever, and like gave this guy this meal. So of course these women afterwards ordered like 4 of them each.
Oh, what bitches!
So right, it was one of those situations. Oh God, it just reminds me of a story. This wasn't a story that I told or I happened to me, but I actually read this the other day, and I don't know if it's one of those true ones or not. But it was a story about people being assholes. It was like, what is the most asshole-ish thing a customer has ever done? And somebody was talking about being at a festival and having this guy at the front of a line. He was doing one of those random acts of kindness thing, and he dropped like $50 down at the funnel cake stand and said, next 10 funnel cakes are on me, or something like that, like however much they cost. I don't remember what it was. And I guess like 1 or 2 people went through and were like all happy they got this like free funnel cake, and then the third person in line demanded she get all the rest.
Oh,
because they were all paid for, so therefore giving me, you paid for them, I'm in line, they're mine at this point.
I hope that's not a true story.
But yeah, I hope it's not a true story too, but I'm pretty confident it easily could be.
Oh, it definitely could be. These type of people. So I don't know. I think I may have complained to you about this before, but you reminded me of it. So we have the school line to pick up the kids at the school in the afternoon.
The guy that kept trying to sneak in the back way.
Well, no. So like some people, I'm mad at these people too. The people that I'm about to talk about, but some people don't want to sit in the sun, and there's some trees where you can park your car a little bit further back in the line, leaving like 1 car space in between you and whoever's in front of you, and then you're not in the sun, you're in the shade. So then people will come in right before the school is about to start letting kids out. The line is like 100 cars long, and they'll pull up there and they'll like parallel park in that 1 car space that was left, and they're like 4 cars back from the start of the line.
Really?
Yes.
Like every
There's this
day?
old man that's in this red car. He does it every time. He comes and he looks. He'll drive through and look for any little space that he can parallel park and get in between cars where people left a gap so that they didn't have to sit in the sun. And I don't know if they're right or wrong. I'm not capable of doing it. Like I several times I've gotten there and I see that space that's open, but and I get there early. And so there's probably only like it'd be like a 10 car difference for me. But I don't do it. I don't take it. But I don't know if I should.
I'm like you. In my opinion, it's a line. And it's not, if you go to the grocery store and there's a line of people to check out, and one person is not paying attention and like looking at their phone, like writing a text message back when the line happens to move forward, just because there's now a gap there, does that mean that you can just walk into line there?
Right, yeah. I mean, to me, that's how I see it, too. I totally see it the same way. And so every time it happens, it pisses me off. And I feel like we're in this line together every single day. And, my car kind of stands out. There's no other yellow Beetle that exists here. So if I did this, then, like, I'm forever known as like, the man in the red car. Like, I feel like you know these people now forever, and like if I ever see you, I would be like, I hate you.
Except for what it helps that guy with is you know him as the guy in the red car. Like, do you know what he looks like?
Face.
You've seen it, so you know who he is.
He's an old man. I would recognize him. Like, he parallel parked behind me one day because I was far up in the line, and the car that pulled in behind me didn't pull all the way up, and he took their spot.
I mean, that's one of those situations where do you ever just tell him? Do you ever get up and say, excuse me?
No, I mean, I'm definitely not going to get out of my car and be like, hey, if it was at the grocery store and we're like in person, then yeah, I'd be like, excuse me, what the fuck is wrong with you? But, yeah.
I actually feel that a lot of people get away with things, and they get away with them against me as well. But it always makes me wonder if I could get away with this, is they'll do something like that blatantly, obviously wrong. And people, including me, get so confused that they so blatantly did something that I don't say anything, not for the aspect of because I don't want to say anything, but for the aspect of, am I missing something here? Like, is it really wrong? Like, were they always there and I just didn't notice them? Were they standing there and happened to like say, hey, I forgot something, I'll be right back? You know, because when it's so blatantly obvious. But like I told you the story about like when I didn't say things to that guy that was walking down the street who just threw the bottle out of his hand, and that actually makes me upset because I didn't say anything. But I think I was so taken aback by the fact that he did that. I was so confused that he would have the balls to do that I delayed for long enough where saying something when I finally had my composure to be like, what a fucking asshole, it was now gonna be like a missed point. Like by the time I would have said something, he'd be like, you know, what are you talking about? I didn't just do anything. Like in his mind, it was yesterday. But if you let that guy keep doing it, like I'll tell you, at my work now, I have no qualms about telling anybody at the that's sitting at the coffee machine, if they get a coffee and walk away, and I'm behind them in line, or like walk up right after them and open that lid up, and the water is almost fucking empty. I'm always like, oh, so you forgot to fill the water up this time, huh?
You've had enough of that shit.
Oh God, I'm known as the coffee guy on my floor because I'll bring it randomly. We'll be in a team meeting with like the whole floor, and they'll be like, "Anybody have any announcements?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I have an announcement." Like this is what I did one day. I said, "I have an announcement, very important. Like for me, you know, patient safety is number one, and I have to be at the top of my game to make sure I can ensure that patient safety is followed from the perspective of informatics. And it's really difficult for me too when I'm delayed in getting to my coffee that wakes me up in the morning to be able to pay attention to things because I have to fill up the coffee pot. Like the coffee pot holds approximately 128 ounces of water, and our little pitcher in there that we can fill it up with from the water machine that's right next to it is a 32-ounce pitcher. And when I personally am filling up my coffee and have to fill that pitcher up more than 3 times to fill up the water, that means at least 15 people have gotten coffee without filling up the machine since I've been there. Like, I just go on with these ridiculous, like, statistics. But I'm making them all up. I don't know how big the coffee pot is. I have no idea how big our pitcher is. And everybody gets a good laugh, and it's funny because it gets the point across for a while normally. The problem is on my floor, there's more than just I keep looking through the same chests, and I'm not finding, or I'm not knowing what I'm looking for. But there's more than just the informatics and the IT departments on the floor, and this is a meeting. There's like another group of people that are there as well, and I think that they don't hear it enough, and they might be the culprits a lot of the time.
You're preaching to the choir.
What, the coffee?
Yeah, like you're telling people that aren't the problem.
Well, some of them are the problem, but they've gotten better because of my constant reminders about making sure they fill up the coffee pot. Yeah, I can't function without my coffee. I can't do it. It's just it really annoys me because it's a Keurig machine. And it's not one that we have hooked up to a water supply because we don't have a water supply there, but we have like the water cooler there. And you just fill up the water from the water cooler into a pitcher and pour it into the back of the machine when you're doing this. And when you're sitting there waiting for your coffee, it takes a solid 60 seconds for your coffee cup to make.
Right, so you got plenty of time. You're hanging out right there.
The people, they just stand there. They start their coffee and they stand there waiting for it to get done. And when it gets done, they pick it up and leave. And then you realize the water reservoir is completely empty. And you're just like, you just had that. Well, now I have to start filling it up to get to at least the point where it will start heating the water so that I can make a cup of coffee while it's making, I can fill up the pitcher the rest of the way. You know, it's so rude. So rude. I don't know. People in general, and I don't think people do it maliciously. They're like, I'm not going to fill up the coffee pot today. I think it's just that they lack the understanding that things aren't automatic.
I mean, that's the kind of thing you should learn. I feel like the problem is bad parenting almost. Like,
I'm gonna tell the next person who doesn't fill up the coffee pot. I'm gonna be like, so, my friend tells me you must have bad parents if you didn't fill up this coffee
really,
pot.
that's the truth. Like, did their parents do everything for them? Like, what the hell?
I mean, I guess it's possible.
What has happened down here?
To what?
Your dark room. It's a
Oh, I
mess.
left it. I'm over at your place right now. I just circled up the top, see what it looked like. I dropped you off a bunch of smooth stone.
That's why I'm over here.
I collected it from what I had, and there was some in the chest inside as I was going through them. So I brought you like 6 stacks.
Oh, good. I need it.
But what is happening over there is I was trying to reroute it all because I realized that the monsters need to drop down centrally so that you can stand in a spot and have the more of the spawning area.
Yeah.
And that's why I was trying to make it all go central, and I got really confused at my water stream. So I was like, fuck this. I've been doing this for, 3 episodes now. I'm going to walk away from it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I'm feeling over here at this building. It's like that's the only I've literally they're the only thing that's changed in my last I don't even know 6 episodes has been the conversation, but the content is literally the same thing.
Yeah, I really wish we were closer to some like known caves or even structures, but there's not much around this area, which is so weird because I've done so much exploring when we first moved over here. Surprised there's just not that many biome changes. Trying to think what we even
Where'd you put it at?
in the chest that was in the front.
Okay.
I really did want this thing for an XP farm. I guess I can just put it back to. No, I don't want to just put it back.
No, here I'll come help you.
Yeah, I've done the one I. Oh God, there's a skeleton in here. It's dark. The one I did under your house way back in the day was very functional.
Yeah, it was.
And I don't remember what tutorial I looked at to get the basic concept down, but it was really simplistic. It was just a lot of
what
digging.
it looked like. Honestly, you had little like pads.
Yeah, which is kind of what I did here. These pads were just bigger because I wasn't doing it to any like template. But I don't remember how big were those pads. How did I have the water channels flow? Because
they were 2x2s.
They were 2x2s. That's all they were?
I swear that's what they were.
In between episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find that video.
Well, actually, we're at a good point here. We should just probably leave it off here. We'll look at that and get a plan for the next episode.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time after reminiscing about past experiences. See ya.